through our channel partners. Our revenue model is one-time device cost followed by recurring revenue from analytics subscription. We have a very diverse team. We have a diverse team experience in biomedical imaging, hardware and software domain. We have an incredible advisory panel, which includes technologists, doctors, clinical research, and professor from IIT. So these are the feedback we have received from a few big doctors from Mumbai. They say that this device can help them to not only to diagnose but also in prognosis of the chronic wounds for a long time. Thank you.
One or two questions more, if you guys. What wavelength?
Yeah, we have a range of wavelength where we are using visible to near infrared. So we are picking different wavelengths. As of now, we are capturing only two wavelengths. That is, one is 660 nanometer, another is 850 nanometer.
Okay, thank you, Deepak. In order to sort out the issue, we're going to give them a bit of time. So I can't bring my quiz up because I need the screen. So we have Albert from Ysense. He's not part of the plugin program, so please don't fill somebody else's feedback on him. We're going to give him 60 seconds to do an elevator pitch. You ready? Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. So temperature monitoring for cold chain analytics, asset tracking, agricultural inefficiencies, and food wastage, energy wastage. These are some of the issues in India right now people face. And luckily and fortunately, Ysense has built products for this in the last 3 to 4 years. So Ysense is built by Ramkrishnan, who has an experience of 20 years in the IoT and embedded systems. So we are completely a hardware company. So far, we have developed almost 6 projects in the last 8 months. And we have given for Unilever and a few companies like those. So we are developing a dashboard right now for people to manage and access the data from their sensors. And it will be able to, you'll be able to do a lot of data analytics on it and help them reduce their cost and run their business efficiently. So we are right now incubated in NASCOM COIoT, and we've been looking at scaling up in the next 6 months. Also, the IoT industry in India, I think, is going to be evaluated around $9 billion by 2020. So it's definitely a good industry to be in, and we focus a lot on industrial IoT. Any questions from you guys? Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Albert. The next startup that we have pitching is Fragging Monk, and we have Vaibhav from Fragging Monk. You know the timeline? Okay, perfect.
Shetty, founder of Fragging Monk Technologies, a company I started to follow my passion of gaming. Now, we've done a lot of work throughout the years, including creating high-end gaming desktops and other hardware accessories for gamers. But what really excited me as a gamer and what excites the world today is virtual reality and mixed reality. When you think of virtual reality, you think of the Oculus, the HTC Vive, and the like. But as a gamer, when I've used it, I'm either attached to a piece of hardware, which is like a desktop on a desk, or I'm wearing a very bulky backpack. So this really bothered me because I could not get the completely immersive experience I could as a gamer. Now, thanks to Intel, I was able to create a proof of concept of a wearable VR vest, which runs on Intel integrated graphics, weighs less than 2 kgs, and is completely free. It's extremely lightweight design with enough provisions given for haptic input if required. And the actual brains of this entire unit is fixed in this tiny space out here. So this here is the entire computing unit along with the graphic processing unit, and this does the entire job of rendering the images for the virtual reality device. The future variation of this vest would be with a camera, allowing me to get mixed reality aspects into the vest as well. So the final package would be a VR, AR and mixed reality package.
Guys, my name is Vaibhav Shetty, and I'm the founder of Fragging Monk Technologies. So we started off back in 2014, and we have been around for a while. And initially, we were focusing more on the Speaker's not working. So initially we were focusing more on the gaming desktop and the other aspects of gaming hardware in the Indian ecosystem. But eventually, as we started interacting with Intel, we explored various other options of making the form factor smaller or different areas of gaming that we can get into. So that's why the VR actually came in. So we started interacting with Intel. We realized there's a gap over here, and we decided to jump into creating a product for the VR and AR market. Now, we all know that the VR and AR market is actually pretty big. So the number is huge. It's $120 billion the world over. But that number by itself doesn't make any sense. Where it starts making sense, So where it starts making sense is when you see that 50% of these revenues are coming from arcades, theme parks, and from hardware. And where it starts making even more sense for us, 40% of this breakup is expected to come from China, India, Japan, and South Korea, which is right in our neighborhood. And that is a market which we were trying to aim at right from the beginning. So therein was the opportunity for us to do something in the VR space. So when you look at VR today, you either have low-end VR, which is running on Android mobile phones, or on the higher side, you can see the Samsung Gears out there. Or you have the really high-end VR, which run on discrete graphics, which run the HTC Vive or the Oculus, which is essentially a bulky piece of desktop or a laptop which you place on a desk, and you're still tethered. Now, there's a big space of computing power in between, which is a regular computer which most people run on, or is affordable to a lot of B2B businesses as well, which a lot of people now refer to as mainstream VR. So this is the direction we decided to go to. So the product itself, what we did is we created a vest, which is extremely lightweight. So currently, if I look at a wearable VR, it's actually a backpack which weighs between 5 to 10 kgs, depending on the company you go to. Ours weighs between 2 to 4 kgs. It has an open architecture, so it is compatible with various HMDs. In the future, with our right drivers in place, it can run HTC Vive and Oculus as well. Right now, it can run it, but the drivers are still an issue. Haptic input is optional. There's enough provision on it to give haptic input if the content so requires. And finally, we are working on a camera modification. So instead of purely a VR vest, it can now become an augmented reality vest as well. So this is how the entire thing would look like. So you're wearing a vest with a HMD of your choice, and the content would be customized based on the end case, which right now what we are targeting is arcade gaming, arcade laser tag, and theme parks. In the future, because some people may want to upgrade the vest to run better content, we would be having a dock to allow people to install a graphic card separately and have a better processing power or a graphic processing power on the unit itself. So here's the use case that we look at right now. So it's a package custom solutions for arcade gaming and theme parks. And the markets we are looking at are India, Southeast Asia, Middle East, South Korea, Japan, and China is something there, but we're not targeting that yet. Now, you may think that these are a lot of markets to target initially. But because VR and AR are at a very initial stage,